Welcome back to the Patriots Wrap. I'm Morgan Weaver. Joined alongside me is Andy Gresh. Gresh, last week you said you were duped. How are you feeling this week?
Well, this week I feel vindicated because I thought they were going to go to Miami and win, and they did it in a way that to me was very acceptable. Ran the ball. They did a good job of trying to be physical. How about Milt Williams at the end of the game? I mean, that's kind of the way you draw it up if you were making a movie of a game. So good job by the defense when they needed it. So overall, I feel way better than I did last week. Last week, I felt like I got duped. I really thought the Patriots were going to be 2-0. This result I expected because we could tell the Miami is pretty soft.
Yeah, and Drake May, he was 19 for 23, 2 touchdowns. What were your thoughts on him today?
He looked comfortable. I thought instead of, boy, Drake's got a big arm, let's try to rip it down the field as much as we can. It was more about using him with his legs, giving him short throws, giving him easier throws. They were very much 15 yards and in towards the line of scrimmage. So I thought it was great use of May. There were a couple times he ran out of the pocket where it was he waited, and then he got out of the pocket. That's what we're looking for from Drake May, that he still gave the play time to develop before finding a way to wiggle out of there. I thought this was one of his better performances as a Patriot. Just if anything else, he looked calm, cool, and collected. He didn't look like his hair was on fire trying to figure out what was going on in front of him. And I give McDaniels credit. He gave him a lot of easy throws today.
And we were talking about earlier this week the defense, specifically concerns with the secondary. They did let up 297 receiving yards. And he's still red flag.
Well, no, I mean, and I think a little context is you don't have Christian Gonzalez to be able to either take Waddle out of the game when you load up on Tyreek Hill or the other way around. So I actually didn't think the secondary was that bad today, given that the Dolphins are very quick in getting the ball out. It is tough to pass rush. It's score dependent a lot of times when you can get Tua really standing back there, score and long third downs. But I thought the secondary, while not great, they held on against 2 of the best receivers in the NFL.
And I think Ramondre Stevenson might have heard that we were talking about Travion Henderson so much. He was fantastic.
I love Ramondre. People dog him out. A couple of years ago, people forget, he had an 80-catch season. I think it was 84 when it was all said and done a couple of years ago under the fateful year of Matt Patricia. So Ramondre is a high-level back. And look, throwing Gibson in there, I mean, big play, third down. Here we go, 1st and 10 after making a big play. It's a quick-hitting wham run play when you brought in Antonio Gibson, had fresh legs, and he ripped off like a 12 or 15-yard run, whatever it was. That's also good coaching in the run game as well.
It was their first 30-point game in 47 games dating back to 2022. Does that give you some hope in this offense?
Well, it's the Dolphins. So, I don't want to run too crazy. This was a good performance against a team who will be firing their coach in a couple of weeks. You see Mike McDaniel at the end of the game, just like this, stand there.
Coach Capri.
I'm Coach Capri. Just, I guess I'll be fired. But don't quit, Mike McDaniel. Listen, as somebody who's been fired a bunch of times, don't quit. In the words of Ed Orgeron, when they went to him and said, Coach, we're going to fire you, we're going to pay you all your money. And he was like, what door you want me to walk out of and when you want me to leave? That's except a different version with Mike McDaniel, but it's going to be the same thing with him. Where do I grab my capris and what door do I leave out of?
Advice from Mike McDaniel from Andy Gresh. We're going to be right back with more Patriots Wrap after the break.